Hi, everybody. Welcome to Free to Be. And today we'll be talking to two transgender teens and talk about how it feels to be a transgender teen in America. And they should introduce themselves. Start with Mason. How do you introduce?
Hi, my name is Mason. I am a trans man, and my pronouns are he, him.
Tyler?
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm also a trans man, and I also identify as gay, and my pronouns are he, him.
All right. Well, as you can see, we have two transgender men here. And I actually want to start off by asking, I actually had to ask my friend before, but I wanted to ask you guys personally. Do you guys feel like you guys are transgender despite actually having surgery, or you guys are all like, do you feel like you had to have surgery to be transgender? Is that my question?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
As long as you have gender dysphoria, I think that you have a reason to be trans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think, well, you're not transgender because you didn't do the surgery. Like a lot of people think that, and I wanted to make that clear because I kind of like identify you guys as transgender already, but for me personally, I had to like change my mind and think differently. So when I talked to my friend about it, like not that long ago, who was transgender, and he said that, wait, I'm not transgender because of my surgery, and I was like, I kind of felt like so defensive, like, wait, I didn't mean to harm you, or not harm you, like say something that's offensive. And he explained to me that's not the case. It doesn't have to do with the actual surgery or actually change your body. It's the idea that I am this. So I understand that completely. I wanted you guys to explain that. Now, I also want to ask if you guys feel like people see you as what you want to be, or is it difficult to get people to say your pronouns or call you a man, or like is it difficult for you guys?
I think it's different, like between family and friends and like the outside world, because my family is harder, but everyone else at the beginning when I first came out and I first was like, oh, I'm trans, it was really hard. But like now, 3 years later, it's kind of just like if someone does it, it's kind of weird. I'm like, oh, that's not right. But I correct people, so it doesn't really bother me anymore.
Yeah, for me, like with friends, it's a bit easier just because, we're friends and stuff. My family is like hard no. So, yeah.
Oh,
and then
I'm sorry.
either. So it's like, it's still a process, but we're getting there. So.
All right. I mean, it's so difficult for me to like, okay, so my first transgender friend was in high school around the same time I met Mason, actually. And I kind of, what do you call it, had this idea like, okay, automatically I should treat this person how they want to be treated because that's who they want to be treated. And it's not selfish of me to it would be selfish to me for me to say call them by whatever they don't want to be called. And I didn't understand it, but automatically kind of wanted to be there for them anyway. So
I wish more people were like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if everyone was like that, I think it would be so much easier to like be a trans person.
Fantastic.
Just in general.
Yeah, and it's just stupid because like who cares if you have to say a different pronoun than it's just okay. Well, I had a conversation in my math class in this is Hart High School, by the way. I was I believe I was a junior, and it's funny to me because he's like a Hispanic, well, he's a Trump supporter, and I was like, whatever. But that's not the point. The point is that we had a conversation. It was like a video of I don't know if you guys seen it. It was a transgender woman in GameStop, and somebody.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody was asking them like, and calling them he, and he's like, dude, you're a dude, and she was like yelling, you're not, you disrespect me and call me a woman because I'm a woman, and I was like, yeah, why not? Why don't you just do that? And somebody in the video, like somebody in the class was wanting to bring it up. I don't know why. I forgot why it was brought up. But he was like, "That's not fair for you to force me to call you by your what we call it pronouns when you were born this way." And I'm like, whoa. First of all, I personally don't believe that like you were born into being like let's for you guys. You guys are not. I don't believe you guys are born into being girls. Do you guys feel that way?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't see that way. I know I'm different from a lot of people, but it's the same way with somebody saying you're not born gay, or the same way saying it's like I feel it's the same way for somebody calling me. I was saying I'm not born black. I should feel the exact same way because like. Just because
if I wasn't born this way, why would I like put myself through like a ton of stuff that I wouldn't have to regardless?
Yes.
And I don't think people. I think people don't understand that.
I'm glad you said that.
Because like transitioning isn't fun, like
not
at
easy.
all. It's not fun. It's not easy. You lose people like along the way. It's like no one would want to put this on themselves.
Yeah, and like the mental part of it all too. It's like, why would I put myself through that like intentionally? I don't get why people say that at all.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating to me because yes, I'm a liberal democratic person, but it's not even just that because like I know a lot of people that are same party, same everything that still don't like treat you guys like you, and it's so simple in just understanding somebody by just asking. Because I had transgender friends, so I had to open my eyes to that. The same way when I had gay friends back in like middle school, that's how I opened my eyes to stuff because I just wanted to understand. And people will try to defend their own opinion when it doesn't harm them. So it was upsetting to me when he was like, "Why do I have to do this?" So like, just common courtesy. It's like it's not that hard to like. You are trying so hard to say like you don't know it's forcing you first of all, but you're trying so hard to say I'm not doing it when it doesn't even harm you. How's it affecting you if you don't want to say it? Oh man, it's just kind of the same way where people don't want to wear masks. Like it's not really harming you. It's just something you want to be disobedient for.
Yeah.
And you realize the same people are the same ones that are like, I'm not gonna treat you like this. It's my right to not treat you. Just because it's my right to push you down the freaking stairs, I mean, I should actually do it. I mean, it's just so frustrating to me. So I'm sorry that you guys have to deal with that. And I'm also want to ask, like, a lot of people I talk to, because I'm a very social person and I kind of want to understand everybody's opinions, but I still have my own. And I heard the opposite opinion where they're like, well, it's just a mental, like, disability. It's not, and I don't agree with that at all. But I want you guys to express how you feel when somebody says, oh, well, you only feel that way because of your mental disability. Like, do you guys feel it's mental or spiritual? I want you guys to touch on that.
So people have said that a lot to me, actually. And I don't think it's like a mental disability, but it definitely is something mental because gender dysphoria is a mental like problem. And like that's what trans people experience is it's dysphoria. So
yeah,
I guess there's like it's not necessarily. I think there's a preconceived notion that mental illnesses are like really bad things when like gender dysphoria is a bad thing for the person, but it doesn't have to always be a bad thing.
Yeah. Mason, do you want to touch on that?
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, for me, okay, it's funny to me because I really do think that I relate a lot to you guys, but I don't relate in the same ways. So like I understand because of my own experiences, but it's not the same. You know, it makes sense. So and I think anybody can do that. It's just people choose not to and choose to just dissociate themselves with other people because they feel like oh man, that person is quote unquote crazy. Like you're not. It's the same thing to me where I'm explaining why I feel like it's the same because I feel like it's the same when I think of my insecurities, and I think of everything that I feel like is quote wrong with me. It's not. Everybody has that. So it's not like, oh man, I am wrong. Like to change to who I am. Like, just like, okay, let's say we call it, have anger issues or something. It's how if I wanted to stop having anger issues, it's not harmful. That's really a benefit. It's not, oh well, that's your craziness. That's your issues. And kind of the same way when you guys say that I am not a woman, I am not a girl, I am a man. So that's how I feel. Let's change that. So I don't understand why people disassociate that.
Me neither. And I think that people use it as an excuse to just be a bigot sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like, oh, like I feel bad about myself too. Should I just go change like my body? And it's like, it's different. There are different kinds of like dysphoria. There's gender dysphoria, there's body dysphoria, there's all different kinds. And I think people are just uneducated and don't understand that.
Yeah.
So,
but when you said that change your body, I mean, what's the difference between somebody like feeling too skinny and deciding to work out? Like, it's still changing. Like, if you have a problem with your body, you go change it. But it's not. I know it's not the same thing. But I'm saying, like, you still feel this. Like, you don't feel the same, but like you feel the need to change who you are. Then it's okay. And so why everybody trying to make you guys seem? And you're right. Some people just use and try to mask their own bigotness, and I believe that heavily. But like, what I try to do is explain to people, and I'm very, I don't know, I'm always been a person like that can understand two different worlds, but see how they relate. So when I talk to people, I try to relate to their own lives and relate to their own. And that's why I like to do in this show, because I want them to see like, oh, this is not just them. So you can't just push them away. Like, you can feel some type of way that's similar. Mason, do you want to speak on what you were talking about too?
No, I agree. I don't have much to add.
It's okay. Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to include you, but I don't know. I think that I watched this. Oh, great! I want to talk about this. We can start talking about the romantic part of it, because a lot of people.
Wonderful.
Great.
Yeah, but like.
Awesome.
We'll make it. It's not gonna be like radar, but it's okay. So I want to talk about how you guys feel in when you like somebody that doesn't like. Let's say you Tyler, who you like, men or girls, or you like both?
I like men.
Okay. So if you go for like a guy that you like, but he doesn't see you as a man and he's actually a straight guy, do you feel like that's like you can't do that? You know, how does that make you feel?
I usually don't go for straight guys because like I have had very bad experiences with it.
Okay.
And it's so hard to be in a relationship where you're just like not out to the person, or like you just like are just like, oh, I like them so much that I'm not going to tell them. Like, that just does not work. And if anyone is in that kind of relationship, it's really toxic and awful. And it's just sometimes really hard, you know?
Yeah, I understand. Lisa, how you feel?
Personally, for me, I just don't feel comfortable enough, like, in myself to, like, actually go out and, like, seek romantic partners. So it's like, I just try and avoid the issue altogether. But I definitely think that if you are in a relationship, you should tell your partner that you're trans. You shouldn't, like...
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Not only that, I feel like they had to, I mean, because you guys are like trans to me. I mean, I cannot assume somebody is transgender, but I can like see and can tell. So when it's obvious, when it's really obvious, I think sometimes people still have their like stubborn, or not stubborn, they have their strong beliefs. So I want to explain, like, hey, if you are a transgender man I see you as a man, and I think people who see you as a girl and like attracted to you like that it's not cool. So I think that's what I wanted to talk about. Like if you guys are like, okay, I do have like, have you guys ever had experience where it was like a straight guy or straight girl that saw you differently and straight guy or straight or lesbian girl who saw you differently from what you are, and you kind of
unfortunately I've had both. Although when I was dating a lesbian, she's not my best friend, so we were cool. But the straight guy, that was a horrible experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sad because I see so many people in the same situation that I was in. It's like, I understand that you like the person, but you need to take care of yourself first. Like, your mental well-being is of the utmost importance.
Yeah. I definitely understand that. Mason, how do you feel about that?
I think the only thing I've got relating to that is like the last relationship I was in, we were both pre-transition and like pre-coming out to ourselves. So the reason why the relationship ended was because it just couldn't continue that way because we were different people than we were in the relationship as. So
I want to actually no, I'll talk about that later, but I also wanted to talk about like I have been asked before if I can like somebody that's transgender, and I don't know, I'm totally different from a lot of people, but I really like think like, okay, well, first of all, I can't like a transgender man because I'm a straight guy, but I see them as a man, and I actually had the experience that it's like kind of the first time I was like, okay, I want to explain this. I was 7th grade, and it's the first time I really had like a experience with somebody that was gay, and this is 7th grade, so they were pretty young, and they didn't want to come out and say that okay, well, they're gay. They did, but she became my best friend. She's still a she right now, but she was trying to become a transgender man, and she kind of sort of went back to it. I haven't came in touch with her in a while, so I don't know if she started wanting to be a transgender man again. But I wanted to say that we were so best friends, and I kind of like, I'm telling you, I kind of fell in love with her. I totally fell in love with her, and that was like my first time. I'm be like, okay, I really love this girl, and I didn't. She was kind of pre-transitioning, so I kind of, it was hard because I didn't understand it, and I was 7th grade. I didn't understand that. I was never. And sad part is, I never really understood. I never knew about gay people till 7th grade, or even anything like that. And it's sad because they don't tell you anything. Like, I mean, I learned so much about civil rights and stuff, but I don't learn about like a lot of things.
Yeah, like anything that gay people have been through. Yeah. That's never even spoke of.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that.
No.
We're definitely going to talk about that a little bit later, but I want to explain this where she was so upset with me, and she was close. I'm saying she was my best friend, but I kind of like, when I told her, okay, I like her, she kind of pushed me away and didn't understand it, and it kind of triggered a lot of sadness. So I didn't understand why, and until a little bit later, I started seeing that she wanted to transition, and when I told her that how I felt, it made her feel like, oh, you see me as a girl, and I was like, I didn't understand that at the time, but I'm like, wow, now I understand that I was telling this girl, hey, you're a girl. It's just by telling how I feel attracted to her. That's so bad, and I don't know. I was so hurt by it. I took it personally, and I had to mature and see, okay, that's person. She wants to be a man. That's a man. I had to program my mind to think like that. A lot of people still don't have that to this day. Even grown-ups still don't have that. So I wanted you guys to. That's why I wanted you guys to explain how you felt about this situation, because I don't know. I really was mad at myself, and rightfully so, because I did really put a lot of harm on her by like telling her stuff like that. And I want more people to understand that, okay, that's not the best thing to maybe be. I mean, I was like 12, 13, but I mean, a lot of people are 19, I'm 19 now. A lot of people that are my age or even older don't even like, never have that experience. And it shouldn't take that experience to be like, hello, that's not right.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys are both on here. I really appreciate it. And I want you guys to have more. I feel like we need to have more conversations about these things. But yeah, back to not knowing about this stuff in the history and stuff.
Yeah.
We can talk about the history of it a little bit. I realize, I have been so pro gay rights, pro transgender rights. I'm always been like that since being younger, like close to 12. I mean, honestly, all my life, because I've always been so openly. Because like it started off with shows like Glee, which is my favorite show, and stuff like that. Like shows that really like brought in stuff and said, okay, this is normal. So it sucks to me that it took those shows, because a lot of people don't want to see the shows, but like, or now people don't even know about the shows. But it's okay. What? Let me see. Let me explain this. What made you guys realize that, oh, I'm a transgender and this is normal?
It was my whole coming out experience was a mess. Like, I think I first like realized that I was like queer, umbrella term.
Okay.
As like in like 6th grade, I was like, oh, that's I kind of relate to that. Like,
okay.
But I still didn't think I was trans. Like one of my other friends came out as trans, and I was like, great for you. Like, you're doing great. And but meanwhile, I was like, oh, everyone just goes through the internal turmoil that I'm going through. And then in like 7th grade, I started watching YouTube. Like Miles McKenna was the first trans YouTuber I ever watched. I love Miles so much. And then I started just watching more and more and more, and I slowly came to the realization that not everyone goes through that internal turmoil. Like, not everyone feels like that. And so I did more research, and I was like, oh, cool, I guess that's me. And then I started coming out to people and, like, seeing how it felt, and it felt great. So I was like, okay, I guess this is it, and then I just stuck with it. I didn't realize that I was gay until, like, 8th grade because of events that happened, and I was like, that makes so much sense why I'm not feeling great right now. So
yeah. Mason?
I oh geez, sorry. I personally, for me, I realized that I was bi before I realized I was trans. Because oh god, I went through so much of my life just like suppressing how I actually felt, just in general about myself, because no one else was feeling that way. And I just thought, maybe one day these feelings will go away and I'll feel like a normal kid, but it never happened.
First of all, you are normal. Just saying. There's nothing about you that's not normal. But like, I want to say that like, people say it's like, oh, it's just a phase, or our parents even think that. But trust me, I'm a straight guy. I never once questioned
that. It's been years. Excuse you.
My parents at first were like, it's a phase, it'll go away. Just don't talk about it, and we don't have to fix it.
Yeah, I think.
But then it didn't.
I think they understand. I think it's two things. One, they actually think that. And for saying, I mean, I'm a straight guy who's like 19. I never questioned once my sexuality. I already knew. And so and I never questioned if I wanted to be a man or a woman. I already knew, because that's who I am. And that should say a lot of people haven't. And that means if you have questioned it and that means you might actually it's actually possible. So you can't just say, oh, it's a phase, it's gonna go away. Like, no. Yeah. I'm not gonna just stop being straight one day. That's not how it works. And I'm so glad you guys talked about that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And I feel like people who say that don't understand how scary it is to, like, who say, oh, it's just a phase, how scary it is to, like, question your identity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I went through, like, a whole year and a half not really knowing who I was or what I was doing. I was just kind of, like, floating in, like, the void.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was awful. It was, like, every day. It was just bombarding with questions about myself. And it was, like, when is this going to stop?
Yeah.
And I think people don't, it's hard. They don't have to understand what we're going through, but they just, I feel like people need to be more, like, more supportive and be like, oh, it's okay to, like, question your identity. You don't have to come to, like, a final statement, and you can change it. Like, I feel like people get trapped into an identity that way, and they're not given, like, enough time and, like, freedom to just try out different stuff.
Yeah. I think people need to understand that, opposite is not a phase, but the people that do understand that and decide to, like, or they just subconsciously do it. Like, they say, well, I'm saying it because I want you guys, like, to feel like you can, like, okay, so for me, my transgender friend, it was in Las Vegas. It was, like, I think it was around New Year's, and I was called in the middle of the night and, like, crying to me. And he was like, I don't think God wants me to be transgender. And that really hurt me to hear that, because first of all, I'm not really, I believe in God, but I don't believe, like, certain stuff like that. I believe, like, God made our lives this way on purpose. That makes sense. I don't know if anybody believes in God here, but I'm saying that it hurt me because, like, a lot of that came from other people drilling in their heads that, oh, this is not right. And I was like, wow, I can't change the person feeling that way because so many people did the opposite. And it's hard for that person to be like, okay. And, like, I don't know. It just really sucks me to really feel like you put all this work into your life and your mental state, and somebody trying to tear that down for you and to working yourself up. Like, I understand completely when you guys say that, man, this is not easy. Like, yeah. So when somebody tells you that and stuff, and they keep trying to push those feelings down, like, what was all this about? That's what you make you feel like, and you shouldn't be ashamed for one feeling that way. And even if you guys, I don't know, do you guys feel it's possible for people to think they are transgender but they're not?
Yeah, 100%. That happens to a lot of people. Like, my friend that I was talking about earlier, like, came out as trans in 6th grade. She identifies as a girl now, like, as, like, her birth gender. I think that it's easy for a lot of young people to, like, make a mistake or, like, think they're one way, but then just realize, oh, it's because of outside influences and outside sources. But they need to be allowed to change, like, back. I think a lot of people in the trans community don't like detransitioners, and that kind of sucks because, like, they are going through their own struggles too.
I think honestly, like, well, I can't really say anything, so but I do feel like until it happens, that it'll change my mind. I'll be really open to it. But I think a lot of times they kind of need to get out of that mindset to come back in. Say, oh, that's definitely not right. Because, I mean, there's a lot of, like, think about it. There's a lot of, like, straight males who, like, married or even became, like, they married women or vice versa, or straight women that, well, not straight, they thought they were straight, and they kind of, like, put themselves like, okay, this is how it is, and it took such a long time for them to see, yeah, I was right for the first time. It's not. This is not how it is. It was not phased, and I have not seen I haven't seen through a lot of, like, stuff I've been watching, all this stuff, like, it's come opposite. They usually kind of come back to it, but it's very possible. I do think anything is possible. I just think that, I don't know, I kind of feel like if you really put yourself in that mindset for a long time, it most likely it's the truth. Like I don't know. It depends. I can't really say. Like I can't I can't say that for everybody and assume that's the truth. So I just think that yeah. For now, I kind of believe that, but it can definitely change.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So Mason, how do you feel about Actually, I'm sorry, Mason. I actually want to change the subject a little bit into school because school it's a huge upset to me because first of all I mean I have two African American parents that want to preach to me about African Americans and stuff and my culture. I get that, it's perfect, but the thing is like I so focus on white, black, and Hispanic, and instead of it, literally that's history. Our history books, that's literally what history is. It's like white, black, and Hispanics. They barely touch on how Asian community feels. They barely touch on how Native Americans feel. They barely touch on a lot of things. It's literally white, black, and Hispanic. And then it's mostly whitewashed because even the black stuff, as I know for sure, it kind of is, hey, I want to tell you this, I want to tell you this, I want to tell you this, to make you feel kind of comfortable. But let's not tell you this. Like, like, I mean, for me, I'm sorry, I'm let you guys speak. I don't want to like talk over you guys, like talk too long. But for me, as a black man, I see a lot of homophobia and transphobia, and honestly, I feel like I don't know why it is, but it's so upsetting to me. But I feel like I don't understand why. I mean, I kind of understand how it happened because we kind of taught the different way. But I can't. It's still frustrating me to see how it's going on in the black community. Like you guys understand the feeling of oppression, but you guys are kind of like doing it to other people and saying like they don't really matter as much. And then it really occurred to me exactly what's going on. Is the history books really are horrible. Like I found out that Martin Luther King, his best friend was a gay person. Yes. And the sad part is that black men that was around Martin Luther King kind of pushed the gay person away from Martin Luther King so he can like, oh, civil rights, and it's not right. And he, later, I think, I'm not sure, I think he killed himself or somebody killed him. And that's the sad part of our history books. It was black men who were really pushing this man out of the way. And we never learned that. How come we don't know about that? How come we don't know about Marsha P. Johnson? I literally, like this month.
I didn't even know about her until like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's such a frustrating thing. First of all, as a black person, I really want to like, that's part of my black history. We cannot forget Marsha P. Johnson in my black history. And to see what's going on in America today, black transgenders getting killed. Let's not just talk about black transgenders getting killed, because I do see a lot of transgenders, period, getting killed.
Yeah, it's really sad. I think there was a study, and it was like the average lifespan of like a trans woman was like 35 years in the United States, and I was like, oh, that's so like it's just so sad.
Men too. And I don't want like to say that and scare you guys, but it's the truth because it's sad.
Yeah.
A lot of African Americans, like, I don't want to call out anybody, but like close people to me as African American, it upsets me. You're like, well, it's not as urgent. Like I support Pride. I wear Pride like on my chest, like for real. But if they say it's not as urgent, why are you supporting this? Let's focus on this. First of all, let's talk about how black transgenders are getting killed. So it's still talk about black and black, but there's also transgenders getting killed. Period. So just how I feel about unarmed black men getting killed by a police officer, it's happening to unarmed transgenders too. It just masked by the media, and it's kind of masked by history books. So how do you guys feel about all that I just said? Like, it's masked by the media and it's in history books, and people need to know more about this. Like you told me like 2 months ago, as a transgender man, to not know about Marsha B. Johnson is sad to me because it's not just your fault. It's literally the fact that no one, like, what?
Yeah, they don't even teach us about Stonewall at all in school.
Yeah,
at all.
No. Actually, the truth is, it's actually in our history books, and like they
just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Like I've seen Stonewall
Wow.
books before. I really did have. They like skip over. You know how like teachers skip over lessons sometimes. They skip over that.
They skip over all the gay ones. They're like, not this one.
Yes.
Not this one.
And it really occurred to me until recently. I'm like, wait, whoa! I actually seen Stonewall riots in my history books. I thought like, I'll actually be honest with you. Well, why do we keep skipping that? What? I mean, as a kid in school, I'm like, we're skipping this lesson? Yeah, woohoo, let's go. It's like older people in education understand what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I'll be like, why are we skipping this one? And they'll be like,
well, we don't
I still want to talk about it. Like,
I'm so sorry. I mean, as a black man, I understand how it feels to be like not heard and not learned about in my category. But you guys have less in history and like known about in history, and it's so frustrating to me because I don't know. It shouldn't take me to be somebody say, "Oh well," somebody upset me when somebody's like, "Oh, this is more urgent." I believe everything's important. I'm type of person. I think everything's important. Somebody told me that's more urgent. It took me to like, all right, man, person's wrong.
Yeah, I feel like as long as there's a group of people that are not getting justice, then no one's getting justice.
Yeah. Period. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're white. I don't care if it's in general. Because you guys are white transgenders, or I'm sorry, Mason, not like completely white, but like it's still people look at it like, oh, like gay is like equal to white people. No, what? Like, like people in our communities and even my like suburban community think that like no, just because you see more white people, it doesn't mean that is not the case. And the fact is that is still not the case with transgenders because a lot of transgenders are dominantly Hispanic and black. But like I don't know, it's just so tough to see that in the world. Like how do you guys like okay, I actually want to ask both of you guys, how do you guys learn? I mean, you told me, Tyler, that you learned like how normal it was by YouTube, but how did you learn how normal it was? Like, how did you? What introduced you to that type of world in Mason?
Also YouTube, pretty much.
Yeah,
YouTube taught me more than the school system.
Through the internet. Yeah.
Hey, this is why free to be is a good thing because this type of stuff introduces people more than the history books, and it's sad. So I'm so proud of you guys both to come on here and talk about this. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this is good. This is great because I don't know. I feel like entertainment is the best avenue for real education, and yeah, we learn stuff in school. Yeah, that's cool, but we don't really. It doesn't get into our minds because I think the problem with school is it's so work orientated. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that word, but it's so like homework, school, test, project that
very standardized.
Yeah. We get the like actual meeting. We don't look at the actual meeting. We just kind of want to get it done. So why go entertainment? Why go entertainment, which is the best avenue because like when you see a video and stuff, you like whoa. You kind of feel it. It puts you into that state. So I am glad you guys said that. Like, YouTube was your place.
Yeah.
Because that place for me to understand a lot of people was like television, like shows, like I said, Glee, and like my other favorite show, The Fosters. Those like told me that. Yeah, and actually, this show I watched just recently called Pose. I don't know if you guys know about it.
I've been wanting to watch it, so
it's such a good show.
Keep spoilers to a minimum.
I'm not spoiling anything, but I'm gonna say what it's about. And it actually, there's two reasons I want to bring this up because it's about transgenders in 1980s and just gay people in 1980s, and it relates to a lot I see now, and it's such a perfect show. And first of all, it's made by the show, like made by the Glee director, so I had to watch it.
Yeah.
But anyway, but like no, but like seriously, I think people need to stop thinking to the mindset of, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, because honestly, it opened my eyes a lot. And right at that time was AIDS and stuff, and I'm not spoiling anything because everybody knows about AIDS. It made me see like, oh, people and HIV, people were like literally not caring enough because they didn't think it was going to them. It was like, oh, we're just going to the trans community and the gay community. Let's forget that. Like, forget, who cares? Like, it made me think, Corona, people were so actively on Corona because it's happening to everybody.
Yeah.
But when it had, like, I know HIV and AIDS can't happen to everybody, but at that time, it was just the gay community. So people were like, oh man, like, this is gay community, who cares? I'm like, what? That happened now? Oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, I've seen like documentaries where there'll be people on tape being like, thank God, like, for AIDS, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's like,
and the thing is, now AIDS doesn't just affect like the queer community, it affects straight people too, like.
Yeah. Like, wait, what, Mason? Were you about to say something?
Oh, I was just saying, like, and then you see, like, videos that people post on YouTube, like, trying to, like, bash, like, people who are gay and stuff. Like, there was a sermon by a pastor. I don't know if you all have heard of Steven Anderson, but, yeah, he had, like, this whole thing where basically he called all gay people pedophiles and was like, thank AIDS for attacking this community. Like,
and like girl defined too. I hate that. Like,
I'm so proud of you guys.
And Caitlin Bennett, I don't even think she's on YouTube, but like,
yeah, people. I heard my younger sister told me about Caitlin Bennett. I didn't even care about the person, but like, it's sad to me because I'm so proud of you guys for speaking about that, because that really made me think. I'm like, why are men so homophobic? And some girls are homophobic too, but they like literally think like I joke about it, and I kind of said it to somebody, and I mean it so like wholeheartedly. You think that every single guy or every single gay person or likes you? Like, first of all, women, like straight guys, women barely like you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like, does every woman, does every single woman have feelings for like a straight person? No.
Like, I mean, I can be a friend with a gay person because I don't. First of all, I have insecurities, but I still, even if you're super confident about yourself, you don't have to like, and don't think that.
Yeah.
Don't think that. Oh well, that means they can like sexually have advances. What? I mean, there's a lot of, okay, first of all, I think all women are beautiful. Like, I get serious, dude. I am not going to try to, like, do sexual advances with every single person. I think that's the perception of guys in general. Like, guys are just horn dogs. I understand that.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. And,
no, I don't either.
But it's okay because I understand, like, just like how white people all think everybody old white person is freaking racist. Is like, I understand why, and I don't agree with it, but I do understand the stereotype. And I think it's the same way when it comes to gay guys. If they think that every single straight guy thinks, oh well, I'm a horn dog, that means they're a horn dog too, and they're trying to get to me. But it's not the case. Sometimes they feel like they just want to be loved by somebody, but it doesn't mean like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It sucks me to see that. So I do want to touch on have you guys heard the gay panic defense and the trans panic defense? Do you guys know about that?
I think that those are the laws, you mean, right?
Yeah.
I think those are disgusting.
Yeah,
like, it's so gross. It's so gross.
I just learned about it, to be honest with you, and I think it's so horrible. And that's why I really into politics. The people are like, oh, this stuff is not political, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, this stuff actually is political because it involves the government. But like, the topic is more about human rights, I understand, but sadly it does involve the government. and stuff like that. The gay panic defense and the trans panic defense. Let me explain it first of all. It means that if you're a straight person and you're around a gay person, you are like obligated. This is sad. This is sad truth. Obligated to kill that person or murder that person or harm that person that's gay or transgender if you assume that they, or if they actually do make sexual advances to you, and it's under law that you will get away with it. That's actually truth in literally all our states in California, not California, in America. Sorry, it's sad.
I actually think it was abolished in most states. I don't think that it's. Hold on. I don't think that it's like legal in most states.
I'm not sure like how
I
around
think a good amount.
United States,
I think it's like 40 plus states.
Yeah.
As I recall, I believe
definitely
it was 40 plus states. Okay, I'm sorry. I was searching up real quick.
Yikes.
Okay. All right.
Fact checking.
I believe it's 42 states. So that's still a huge amount. That's still a huge amount. Maybe not. And honestly, that's a huge amount. I honestly don't know if California is one of them, but it's still.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
but it could. It could be. I'm not saying it's not.
Hey, there's a lot of laws that doesn't seem like California, but that is going on. So I mean, that's
for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's still crazy to me that that's possible in general. And even if it's like, okay, even if it's one state, why the what? Like they're literally getting away with murder by just, it's like a he, she, or well, in this case, not that, but like it's like you get to assume, and because that's just a target to a lot of hate crime, and that's why a lot of hate crimes for that are transphobic and homophobic don't go in the news, because it's like, oh well, that like somebody get found guilty, then it's not like I think a lot of people should know. Okay, wow, that's going on. I am obligated as a straight guy to kill both of you guys without getting away with it by just assuming that you guys made sexual advances to me. What?
Yeah, or if people just do it like, or if like someone who's like really prejudiced against it just like kills someone because they think that they're trans or like gay, and they can get away with it without being like reprimanded. Like that's so disgusting.
Like, they're automatically not guilty. Why is that okay? Why is that normal? That's why police officers, let's say, they can get away with it. Yes, because that's what happened to Marsha P. Johnson, who was a black transgender woman who like kind of started the movement. Well, like she started moving with like two other people. I believe I can't pronounce the name, but
Well, she started Stonewall, right? Like, I mean, she like
actually started the gay liberation movement, like the whole gay liberation movement. So it wasn't just Stonewall. So it was both, and it was her and two other white transgenders. But the only reason I can't say their, I only say the reason I won't say their name. I don't want to butcher their names. They're kind of like wrong. But yeah, it's sad to me that she was killed by police officers. The other two were, I think, passed away just old age, or it was like a disease or something like that. But it was not like related to murder. It was but Marsha B. Johnson was killed by police officers, and it's till this day those police officers were never found, and they kind of threw away the case because it was like, okay, well, it was quote unquote suicide. But first of all, it saddens me. That's a lot going on right now, even today, that they're literally calling suicide for a lot of these things that are obviously like killings. I'm not just talking about black men. I'm talking about transgenders and gay people in general, because it's happening. I mean, I think it's not happening as much to gay people, but it's still happening in enormous increase in hate crimes against transgenders. Like, it's sad. Like, that's that show. There's actually been a decrease in hate crimes against African Americans. Is still going on for a lot. Everybody obviously knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And it's sad to me that since it has been a little bit big decrease, a little bit small decrease, it came a bigger increase for transgenders, and you can see that how people were just trying to find hate crimes in somewhere. Yeah. It's sad. I really feel sorry. Like, not sorry. I don't feel sorry. I mean, I feel like upset that I really feel like you guys are treated like you guys are in the bottom of the barrel. Like, it goes from black men. Let's give them black men. Let's help these black men. Also Hispanics are in like children in cages are also like up there, and women too. It's like it's part of like it goes down the list, and the last thing we look at is like what's going on in the trans community. Until recently, it took a long time for us to do that, and they're only talking about black trans, which I definitely understand because black trans are getting killed at a huge amount of white transgenders, but it's still going on. So I think people are still trying. Like I don't know. I think people need to know. Okay, this is going on, and I'm like I don't know. I'm sorry for that. This is the world we live in because I do understand that. Like I'm scared to just even go out and walk nowadays, especially. But in general, it always happened. And do you guys feel that, or do you guys feel like you just feel judgment, or do you guys feel both?
Depends on where I am. If I am here,
where are you?
In my hometown, I like.
Where do you live?
Feel like people are always looking at me.
Where do you live?
Santa Clarita. So it's like the little red bubble. It's like the little red bubble in all the blue state.
Yeah. But talk about that too, because I live in Santa Clarita too. I
think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's what I said. But like, people think Santa Clarita is safe. It's really not.
Oh my gosh. No, it's not.
It's just masked. It's really masked. There's a lot of racism and homophobia or transphobia in Santa Clarita. It's just really masked. And the truth is, it's kind of good. Like, it's not so overwhelmingly one-sided. It's kind of like a little both. I think, but the one side is still occurring. And like, I live in Santa Clarita, but I'm super scared still because there has been like sites of lynch, like the nooses on trees just to scare people. So it's going on, definitely. And I can't automatically assume that's just black people that are doing it. I'm sure it is. Like, sure, it like their intentions, but it could probably hurt other people too. But I think that it's easy to feel comfortable here, but it shouldn't be mistaken that everybody's gonna feel that way. So I don't want to say that to like scare you guys, but I'm saying that because I want you guys. I think that I don't want you guys to. I want not just you guys. I want everybody to realize who are listening. Because most of my followers are Santa Clarita, but I want everybody to realize in anywhere, just because it doesn't, you haven't openly hear it happening, doesn't mean it can't happen. I don't want it to become too late. Like I'm the type of person, like Mason is my really close friend. I have been close friends forever, and Tyler, we haven't really like been close friends, but I still consider us being close friends. And just knowing you guys, talking to you guys today, if that ever happened to me, I would feel so hurt or not happen to me. I'm saying happen to you guys. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. I meant to happen to you guys. I'll still feel so hurt because you guys are close. Like that's sad. And I would never want to be. I think about it now. I don't want to think about it after it happens. Because I don't want you. I don't want that ever happen. And family members, people around you guys need to understand that. Like, I think part of the reason why parents can be like that because they want to protect, but you can't protect. That's how it works. You can't like stop somebody feeling that way. You can only protect them in a way where they can be who they are, but still try to feel safe with you, because that's the kind of world we live in. I cannot stop being black. I can't.
Yeah.
So I mean, my parents cannot protect me from being black. It's not. You can't. So why would you tell somebody who's transgender or parents that their parents like say, oh, I want to stop you from showing it so much because I want you to be safe. Like, no, that's not right. Do you guys feel that's going on? Do you guys feel like that's happening with your parents or your family members or friends even?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sometimes.
That's like I don't want to. It is a touchy subject, but I do feel like I don't know. I don't know. I understand that in a different way. I do understand how parents could be in a different way. They don't want me to show too much of myself because people will try to tear you down.
Yeah.
But it's not how it should be. To be honest with you, even friends, that's not how it should be. To be honest with you, for me, I love being fully me and saying to the world, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway." Like that's serious. That's who I am. That's who I am. And sorry, go ahead.
At like the beginning of when I came out, it was kind of like mixed reactions among my family. So there was a lot of like you can't do that, and then there was like passive aggressive, like I don't like that. But then there was like a couple people in my family who were very supportive, which was really nice. So I know not everyone has that, but even if it's just friends or like anyone or like a counselor, you have to find at least like someone who's supportive, you know?
Yeah, having one supportive person in your life can change so much. Like out of my family, like the people I'm around like all the time, I only have my dad. He's the only person who's ever shown like any resemblance of support, and how important that was to me being able to make it to where I am today, to being able to graduate high school and just get through that experience. Like it's extremely important to have at least one person in your life who is close to you and that you can trust and that you can confide in and talk to. Like someone who understands you is crucial.
I personally try to do that to everybody because I understand that. For me personally, I don't think I get that enough for myself, and it's kind of not anybody else's fault. It's kind of my fault because I don't know. I'm really like you over me type person. Like even Mason knows, like I really would do that a lot, and because I feel like even though I'm a black kid, I'm still kind of privileged in a lot of ways, and I don't want to I don't want to like I don't want to take away somebody's problems because I know I can handle my own. If that makes sense. But some things like that you can't handle. So I really do want to say that I really think it's great, like Mason, and great for you, Tyler, that you have family members that do support. But I think friends are great too. But I think people that are not even close to your friend, they're not friends or your family, should still show some type of support. And just by calling you your pronouns, they don't even know how to know you. They just say, "Hey, Mason," "Hey, Tyler," or "Hey," it's that simple. It's really that simple. It makes you feel special, right? You guys feel special when it happens, or make you feel like, yes, thank you. And Mason, I actually want to ask you, was your dad like? Tyler, you can go after, but was your dad like automatically like supportive, or it took him a second?
It took him a bit, which makes sense. He's like, I think 67 at this point. So it was a bit of a shock originally, but he actually like went and did research on the topic and stuff, and came with me to my therapy appointments and like talked to my therapist about it and like made an effort to understand, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So it took a second, but he got there.
I'm that's amazing to me because I honestly want to do that for my kids because I think it's okay. Our lives are not to be children. Our lives to be our own person. We just have to be children. So we cannot be like, oh, that's mine. You're supposed to be mine. We're not puppets to anybody. And I think that it's so amazing where he even recognized that and say, oh, well, you are my child. I don't care who you think you are. that's who you are because that you are my child, and you are first because you are your own person. You're not my child. You're not just my child. You're your own person. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think that was amazing. Tyler, how do you how was your people that were supportive? I can honestly, I think anybody can know how it feels for some people that weren't supportive, but people who were supportive, how did it what were the reactions?
My parents both reacted very differently.
Mm-hmm.
I told my dad. I came out to my dad first. My coming out story is actually really funny. I came out to my dad first, and at first he was like, "Oh, it's okay. You're good. It's fine." But then he was like, "I don't believe you," and that really hurt because I already didn't. I already didn't have a very good relationship with my dad. We kind of were very not necessarily strange, but we did not like each other for a really long time, and I kind of was really upset about that for a very, very long time. And I've only recently got over how he treated me when I first came out. But when I came out to my mom, it was different. It was I came out to her and she was very supportive, and she was always been very supportive. There's been minor things where it's ooh, that's not very nice.
Yeah.
But
the
the majority of the time,
which is
it's been really nice.
Yeah, it's great to just try. Because we can't automatically think our parents are going to automatically understand everything. But the fact that it's trying, both of them, is great. And the sad thing is, to me, is that I had friends that have parents that are super verbally abusive and never tried. So you guys are not you guys are not privileged, but you guys are lucky and blessed to have that. And I think that should be normal. It's not it shouldn't be a blessing. It really shouldn't. That should be a normal thing.
I've had a lot of conversations with trans people, and they all are along the spectrum of oh, my parents reacted great, or oh, my parents reacted horribly. Yeah. And I feel a lot of people who have bad reactions, they blame other people and not necessarily their parents, because I've had a lot of conversations about that too. And it's you have to understand that your parents should have been supportive from day one. They just are stuck in their ways, or they straight up are just bigots, and you need to understand that.
Are you talking about the parents that are the kids that are not supportive, your friends are not supportive, and their parents? Were you talking about that, or are you talking about just their people that are trans?
I mean people who have parents who aren't supportive.
Okay, I understand. Oh, and their parents are not like that. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
The people whose parents are not supportive, those people need to they can't blame other people around them, and they have to that's your parents' fault. Sorry if I worded that super weirdly.
No. I just think I didn't understand. I think I was kind of mixed up, but I understand. I think a lot of people probably understood that except me. I'm sorry. My bad. Mason, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
You kind of froze up a little bit.
Oof. The freeze. Oh no.
Mason, we'll get back.
Rest in peace.
Froze up a little bit. That's unfortunate. It's okay. It happens.
Just know that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just
you just cut out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna start off over again.
You sound you were you're having a great conversation.
It's alright. But yeah, for people who have parents and family who are homophobic, transphobic, and not accepting of you, it's not your fault. There is nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Being who you are. You can't let the people around you influence how you feel about yourself.
Dictate your life.
You have to try to be confident in who you are.
But it's difficult because you guys do
really hard.
Said, it's a gender dysphoria, so that means you already have insecurities about it. So it's not. It's yes. It's easy to say that it's true. We do need to work on ourselves, but it's so wrong to see somebody see it's like this. I'm drowning and I'm trying to get my head above water. And you can say as much as I want, I'm trying to get my head above water, but you're not doing it. When you're the one still putting my head down in the water.
Yeah.
So it's like it has to go both ways. Like, I understand that I have a lot of insecurities, but the reason why the insecurities is because I don't believe, I still have doubts. So in order for me to have doubts and create confidence in myself, I need people that are supportive to help me out and see the opposite opinion. So I think it's I think it's more beneficial to say, to not listen to the negative and only like focus more on the positive. Because if people are only negative, I don't think it's possible for them to be like super confident in themselves.
Yeah,
Honestly, I have a lot of negative people in my life, and I still have confidence in some things, but it didn't take that negative people, it took the positive people, and to see, oh, I am helping somebody, you know? So I'm sorry, Mason, what were you going to say?
This is why having at least one supportive person in your life can make such a difference. Like, it's extremely important to have at least one person there.
And should be way more, but I guess that's how world works sometimes.
But even if you just have one, it's like at least you have someone to talk to.
But I think it's harder for people. Like, it's good to have one, but it's harder for people to still hear that one. Like, they hear it, but it's not really getting to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because it's so more of it coming, like I said, the friend that said that, I think God doesn't want me to be transgender. I always been super supportive and to that person, and yet they kind of felt that way because of other people. So much of the overcoming other people that were doing the opposite, especially in the family. So it was like, it's hard. So I think not just putting it has to do with a lot of things. You can't just put yourself into somebody that's supportive. You can't just help me. Help me. It's more like, I need to work on myself. Thank you for being supportive. I'm gonna listen to your positive thoughts, and I'm gonna listen to other people's positive thoughts. That not just around you, but people that, like you guys both said it. YouTube, Netflix, should be in school, but I guess not. That stuff, that stuff. Because a lot of things, like in everybody's life, it takes a little bit of inspiration, it takes a little bit of role modelness. So, and I really think that you guys understand. I don't get it. I've never been in your shoes, but I understand the fact that you guys don't have that much role models in your life as family. Does that make sense? Like, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that because, like, as a Black person, I have role models all because that's my family. My family's Black, so I understand the difference. Like, and I think you guys are so brave, and so you guys are so, I don't know. It's really amazing to me because I can never see that for myself. I think I can see that, like, see myself being in that position, but I don't have to be in that position. So it's easier to say, oh, well, what, they can just do this. They can just no. I understand that it's way different, and I'm super proud of both of you guys. I'm super proud of all people that took the courage and said, "This is who I am. I'm going to be this. Don't try to stop me for that." I think that's amazing. Congratulations, both of you guys, for being that brave.
Thank you.
And happy Pride Month, by the way, because this is
it's Pride Month. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I want to talk about a little bit more things before we end this conversation. Work. I want to introduce this topic with the knowledge of having to know that. Oh, also because of Pose, stuff like that, maybe open my eyes to see that it's still going on today, that transgenders do not have a lot of options in workplaces. So they resort to entertainment or sex workers. And actually, the truth is, it's sad to me to see that.
Yeah.
And how do you guys feel? I mean, okay, I'm sorry, but one more thing. That I think this year and recently, they made, I think the Supreme Court ruled something, I think it was just for gay people, I'm not sure. I think it was I think it was all people that there's no discrimination at work. But it's easy to have a law against that and actually.
Some people don't follow it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's people were still can be very bigoted. And, it sucks. I'm sorry, but how do you guys feel about like that? Is that scary to you guys?
Personally, for me, I have been thinking about trying to get into a job and like looking for work and stuff, but I am absolutely terrified of even thinking about applying, especially because I'm pre-transition or like at least pre-medical transition.
Yeah.
So it's like just I'm scared to apply for a job.
Yeah.
For you guys, but like think about it. Like first of all, it's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's completely easy. I'm saying like people that are already transitioned, and it's like I don't want to say obvious because I don't want to be like rude to anybody, but it's still kind of sometimes it's obvious, and they won't get turned down easily. And I mean, for you guys that to have like I don't know, it's so frustrating to see that. Tyler, how do you feel? Like I know you're like only you're 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're only like Mason, you're 18, right? I want to make sure. Yeah, you guys are still young, but and this is really about transgender teens anyway. But is that scary to you to think about? Like, I know you got a little bit of time before you had to go to work, but still, is that scary for you?
Yeah. It is mainly because I don't want to apply somewhere, and because I'm also pre-transition, I don't have my name changed. I don't want to go somewhere and have my birth name like
Oh yeah.
on anything. It horrifies me.
You don't want to be called something different from what you are.
No, even if people just see it, it's like my biggest fear. I hate it like so much. I will just think about that for weeks. So I personally work for myself though. I do commissions and artwork online. So I've thought about getting a job like in the future, and I always just like it just scares me because I don't think I'd get a job without getting like my name changed first.
Yeah, name and gender marker change.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that. Which kind of sucks.
But like how most transgenders are either like I'm trying to understand how it feels for somebody that doesn't want to be in entertainment, doesn't want to be a sex worker. How do they get jobs like being a lawyer or being a doctor? Like even that's very rare to see that because it's so hard. Like I was just watching a video of this like 2019 of he was like the first transgender pastor, and he like transitioned in like 2018 or something like that. And that's like what? Like that's it's how is it still 2020 and there's still a lot less of first transgender people in these job categories, which is so normal.
Yeah. And then do you guys watch Queer Eye?
Because
there was this one episode in the last season.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, you should. It's so good.
A little bit of it, yeah.
In the last season, there was an episode with a gay pastor, and it was like eye-opening for me. Because it was like I always have this like I'm always like, oh, everyone, I have to be careful around people who are religious. Oh, I have to watch what I say around people who are religious. And then like to see someone who's like a queer person who is a pastor.
Think about it. But are you guys religious?
I'm not personally.
You're not?
No.
Is it because, okay, well, 2 questions. Is it because of like the idea of like how they treat transgenders and gays, or is it just your own personal beliefs?
It's just
both.
Personal. A little bit of both.
Okay.
And like personal experience.
I'm not really a religious person, and I do believe in God. I just don't believe in like all the like Bible stuff like that. That's not me. I am more like I have my own belief on God, and I want to keep that and be open to other things. I just don't want to act like I know. You know, I don't like that. The fact that I act like people act like they know who God is and they've never met him in the first place, or her, or who knows. So I think that it's very understanding to be in that position. But I think for that gay pastor, I don't know. I mean, is different from. I'm gonna talk about the transgender pastor. they literally felt like they had to make their own place into that religious place because it's truth. A lot of people that are religious are against that. For some freaking reason, they think that God doesn't want them kids to be like that. It's so stupid, but
yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, but, there's like a whole bunch of history that goes behind it, but it's
but it's still not. I think the whole reason from to begin with is because the homophobia was put into like the Bible, basically, and not even just the Bible, and a lot of things. So I think it started there, and people just kind of like this, just kind of put that into their brain mindset when they're not even trying to be. It just kind of happens because of what they're taught. But
yeah,
I feel like person, I don't want to speak on the gay pastor, but a transgender pastor had the opposite. Like they knew that this was going on, and just kind of had to put themselves in the different route and believe in a different route to get themselves there. And it's really sad to me that I don't know. A lot of people, a lot of people use the Bible to say that black people shouldn't exist or something. I don't know. People do that. So I mean, it happened to me. I heard that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm so proud of you guys not to be spite of that. But I understand not really being religious because of it or for your own personal reasons. And I support anything, to be honest with you. That's just who I am. But I think more people should understand that the difficulty. Yeah, it's really great to see that more things happening, but it's still sad that it's not happening enough, and it's still sad that if you were transgender, you had to like really put so much. Like we can talk about black people and Hispanic people and people with race all the time because they do have a little discrimination, but it's way more progressed now than it was before. Transgenders still have so much to deal with as when it comes to getting their lives together and like being financially stable because they're not so much avenues or options for transgenders, and people don't really realize that. It didn't take me a second to think about that. I'm like, whoa, there's a whole community of transgender. Like, I mean, I'm a person that I like watching stuff, and I'm really not really political stuff, but just interviews. And I saw a video on this whole transgender homeless community, and that kind of like not opened my eyes, but I was already kind of introduced into why like transgenders are not getting like enough jobs. But I was like, whoa, that's a huge amount right there. That's a lot. And I don't know. You guys feel like, first of all, do you guys know what you want to be in when you grow up? It's okay. I know it's kind of young. It's hard to feel.
I mean, yeah, I do. I know what kind of what college I want to go to, and like it kind of sucks because when I was young, I was like, oh, I'm gonna apply to all these places, and then I realized that like I probably wouldn't get accepted.
Oh, is
that just because I'm trans?
I didn't even know that. Is that actually
like,
a discrimination in colleges? Like you don't accept you for being transgender? Is that actually going on?
They'll say something else, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I never really
just like how
that.
It happens in the workplace. Wow. Like colleges do it all the time.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like college is kind of like, I don't know. I always thought maybe because of my own race, but they kind of like try to, oh well, we had to get one, like kind of like thing. And I don't think it's like
sometimes
do that, but it's not all of them.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, oh, we have this number. We don't need to let any more in.
Oh, like, okay. I understand. It's so bad. It's so. I mean, I get it. It's hard because I get that because like colleges have to do it, and it's like I don't want them to be doing it because just to do it. But at the same time, if we didn't have that in place, I'm sure it would be super like all white colleges. To be honest with you, it's very hard. So it's hard. It's hard, and I don't know. But it sucks to me to hear that because I personally can get into colleges just because being black. Like I do, it's easy for me to do that. But also comes with a lot of education and stuff like that. So it's not easy, but I'm not saying it's super easy. I'm saying that it's more likely for me to get. It's sad to me. It's more likely as a person that's really has been a super oppressed history to be more likely to get a college or go to get a job than transgenders. That's really sad to me. It's really upsetting to me. Wow. That's crazy. Like, what college do you want to go to though?
But I do think it's definitely me.
Yeah.
I want to go to I think it's USF. It's San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I'm looking at. But like, I'm applying like all
Francisco
over,
is great,
obviously.
by the way. When it comes to the Pride community, they really.
Oh my gosh! I went to San Francisco in October before this whole quarantine craziness.
Yeah.
And it was the only place I've ever been where I wasn't constantly looking over my shoulder thinking that someone was looking at me.
I think that's amazing. So I understand why you want to go there, but like there's probably other reasons too. But I'm just saying that's great. Mason, how do you feel like? What first of all, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Well, I was a music composition major, but I'm gonna be switching over to music performance this next. Well,
yeah.
Cool.
But do you feel like being transgender is still kind of it's hard to get that path? Still, I think honestly, in entertainment, still it's hard to be in that path.
Yeah, for me, I'm just hoping that music has always been like a safe place for me just to go, because when you're playing, it's like, hey, it doesn't matter who you are, you're just playing music, and it's kind of like an escape, I guess. So I don't really, when I'm like playing, I don't tend to see like myself as trans or just like, well, not like that. I mean, like, I don't like see like
the outsider.
Yeah, I don't feel like an outsider. I feel like I'm
ask you this.
There.
Do you go in like orchestras? Is that like part of orchestras? Like, I'm just confused. Like, is that?
I'm hoping like symphonic band kind of a thing.
Okay.
They have that at CSC.
So don't you have to be accepted into like orchestras and stuff like that?
Yeah, you do have to audition. But the auditions are all based off of skill. Hopefully, they should be. If they're not, I will be upset. But
what instrument do you play?
I'm a percussionist.
Ooh, I love percussion. I play piano. So
that's awesome, both of you guys. But I think it's still just even that alone, you can still not be accepted into that, like just for being transgender. It's still very normal. I don't see enough. People think like there's not that much transgender. There's a lot of transgenders. We just don't see it because it's designed. Our world is designed to hide you guys basically. So basically, when we go like music bands and stuff, I'm sure there's so many transgenders that wanted to do the same thing you wanted to do, and it's just not happening because of the thing. That's why I'm like kind of worried about like Mason, like you always have been. Like, you've been a part of my life for like I don't know, maybe like 5 years, and we're probably gonna be friends for a while. I don't want to see that happening to you because like even you, Tyler. I don't want to say that anybody. To be honest with you, even any other of my transgender friends. I just think that there's a lot of things that need to be changed, and in order to change that, we can put like thank you, Supreme Court, for putting that act there, but it really has to do with the people. It really does. They can design things, but it really has to do with people, whether bigots or not. Like really, it sucks.
Yeah.
That's really horrible to hear. I don't know. This is such a tough topic because like I feel so much empathy, and I think that I understand it a lot just by being a minority, but it's still like hidden. Like, oh well, this is going on. Yes, the Black Lives Matter and all this like immigration rights, all this stuff is going on, but we cannot ignore other things that's going on. And sometimes they get like honestly, I think transgenders like it's really sad truth. It's more likely for a quote unquote illegal immigrant to get a job than a transgender does. That's the truth. Like they will give an immigrant a job just if you give them shorter pay, but they would not give a transgender a job. Period. Like that's what? Like
I think that happens more in like not to get like be super political, but like I think that happens more in red states and people who like are, I think, because in California I think it's not as bad as if I was like say in like Georgia. Like I think I would like here
yeah, you're right.
I worry about it, but I don't like worry about it.
But
like it's not
is that it still goes on in California. Maybe not as much, but it's still
100%. But I'm saying that it's gotten better over time, and I'm very thankful for that.
I say that because I still have older transgender people that live in California that have to deal with this stuff in workplaces, and they can't say their different name. It's like it's still I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to see that it doesn't go on a lot because I think it's just a big problem. Period. Because honestly,
me too.
I mean, in Georgia, my mom's side of family lives in Georgia, and or even like in the southern states, period. It's definitely more aggressive, but it's still you can't ignore something because it's more aggressive somewhere else. Like
I agree.
Like let's say if Corona never happened here. Like, let's talk about Yemen. Like how that's going on in Yemen. It's just because aggressive over there. Like, no, sorry, that's different. I'm sorry. Let's just say if Corona was only happening in like China or somewhere like that, we can't ignore like say, oh well, it's only happening there. Let's just ignore it. You know, so you can't just do that. So we have to. I don't know. People need to be more empathetic of what's going on around their surroundings. That's what I see a lot, and people try to ignore that a lot, and it's so sad to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry that this world is so selfish, to be honest. I feel it. I feel it myself. And you guys just feel it differently. I feel it myself. This world is so selfish. Like, even if your intent is to help you guys, it can still be for selfish reasons. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want a gay or transgender friend.
Yeah. The whole, like, gay best friend, like,
GBF,
the only reason I want to be your friend is because you're gay. Like,
it's
gross.
They might not even say that, but still think that. And we can't change that. But the thing is, that stuff like this, these conversations, which I'm so proud of, can change people's minds. And not even change, open their minds, honestly. Because I don't want to ever feel like, I have so many times been, oh, that's my black friend. So many times, my gosh. I'm like, I don't even care about you, though, but whatever. Like, I know how that feels, and that's okay. I'm sorry. We probably like end this conversation on For me, the reason why I like really got into, I hate the fact that in Black community we're so homophobic and transphobic, and I don't know why. I think it's a lot to do with African history, and I think a lot to do with our American history, like what's going on in America. But it's such a big thing that's going on, and I recently saw a video during Black Lives Matter. I don't know if you guys know about her, but Iyanla Dior, you guys heard about her?
I believe so.
Yeah, me too. I think I have as well.
Okay. I want people to hear this because it's huge. During Black Lives Matter protest, Iyanla Dior, her story, she literally was going into her car. She got a car accident. She was using somebody else's car. And the person in that neighborhood is mostly dominantly Black. She just had this whole, like, if people look up the video, she had an interview and she was talking about this story. She was automatically scared to have a car accident in a Black community because notably a lot of people get killed for being transgender in the Black community, which is so crazy to me. But it's such a huge amount too. And she was trying to run away. So she tried to run away, and I guess it got attention because it's a car accident in the neighborhood. It got attention, and this Black man was following her. And she was trying to get away, and he was calling her horrible names, and she was like trying to be defensive and get away at the same time because they will try to harm you. And I guess it just piled on to 30 Black men, followed her in a store, and and the store person was trying to get her out. Oh, and she was trying to get protection. And the store person was trying like, oh, leave. You're not. I'm sorry, you can't be here. You're causing too much drama. That's exactly what the person said. Causing too much drama. And she was trying to protect herself. And these 30 black men were beating her. Like, I saw the video. I was so outraged. Like, this during, like, not the protests were not even that far away from where it was going on. And we were, like, they had the nerve to say Black Lives Matter. And they were, like, literally beating this transgender person for no reason. No reason. Yeah. African American. And I was like, wow. That's really how, wow. I mean, I never really taught by anybody in my family that to be supportive of transgenders or gay people. It was kind of just like not so. I mean, they were supportive. I think if people are supportive of my family, some are not. But it was kind of like I support, but I don't really talk about it that much. And I seen the support so I knew that it was okay for me to support them. It was not like anything wrong with it. It just I think is not talked about enough in other people's communities. Like white people or anybody in any culture should be talking about other stuff because our own culture is not the only problem. Like it's not what's problem is our own culture, and it's not the only problem in the world. So just knowing that it was going on kind of triggered the ideas like, oh man, let's focus on this. Let's see what's going on here because that's important. And I think you guys are very important in our just even though I didn't know you guys are important, and I think people need to think that way more often. Yeah. So thank you guys both for having these conversations, and this is such a good thing. Do you guys have anything else to say before we end this?
My closing thoughts are, it's okay if you're trans, and if you want to come out, just try to find someone that you tell first and that has always been supportive through your life. And if they react poorly, that's okay. It just takes time, and you really need to have it's really hard, but it does get better. It might take time, but it does get better. And people who are struggling, people who are going through a lot, it's hard now, but just think of how it will be 3-4 years down the line.
Yeah. Mason, do you have anything to say?
And then I don't know if there's going to be anyone out in the audience who needs to hear this, but if there is, you are not weird. You're not strange. You're not abnormal. You're not some anomaly. You are perfectly fine just the way you are. And you're amazing for being who you are.
You both and so many others are so amazing for being who they are. I think that's the biggest inspiration I have myself. Honestly, hearing you guys inspires me to why the heck am I stopping myself from being who I am? It's not so harmful to me to to do this. I don't have so much effect that you guys have. Well, sometimes I do because of my race, but it just makes me I'm more proud of who I am. So you guys are great, and I'm not saying everybody should be inspirations, but I'm just saying that you guys are amazing. So I'm proud, and I do have a question for you guys both before it ends. Do you guys think that you guys want to do the surgery?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. The second I'm 18.
Which one? There's so many. Okay, well, there's a lot.
well, I have a
top
question.
Surgery is getting done.
Oh, top surgery sure getting done.
Or do you guys are comfortable with the bottom surgery, or you guys just want top?
I'm gonna wait to see how the science evolves because I've seen the results, and I don't know how I feel about them.
Oh, you mean the surgery?
Currently, it's also not extremely safe.
Yeah, it's there's a 50%, 30, 40% chance of failure, and I'm like, ooh.
I can't believe that I was gonna have a conversation before talking about this. Healthcare, because my mom is a, so I said I don't want to keep saying this every single video, but my mom is a social worker in the medical field, and my dad's a doctor. So I know a lot about so many people in my family that's like doctors and stuff. So I know a lot about healthcare, and transgenders in the healthcare is, first of all, they get denied healthcare a lot, but they get denied. They get, like, I was out mad when freaking Trump tried to ban transgenders in the military. Anyway, anyway.
And they use like the excuse that's like, oh, they're just trying to get their surgeries for free. It's
yeah,
like,
but that's the
yeah,
reason.
because you guys make it super expensive.
Yeah,
like,
but it costs so much, and a lot of these surgeries are like necessary for people to live their lives.
It's expensive, and they'll either deny you, period. And I understand that, 'cause I've seen it so many times, and I heard it so many times. I just think it's so horrible that they really try to make you feel like you can't do anything to change yourself. I'm sorry. No, that's not happening. So the fact that you said it's 50% is because there's not enough people trying to change that fact. Like, I think it's has to do with the people in general, but there's not enough education on how to help people, help the healthcare system improve that. There's not. And it's not focused enough. It could be changed. It definitely could. It's just not focused enough.
It's kind of, I think that the healthcare is more focused on what will make them the most money.
Yes.
Because there's so much science. Like, I'm not trying to say this to be prejudiced or anything, but there's more science into like trans women, like transgendering from male to female, because there's more surgeries involved, and there's more like.
Is that? Are you saying that because it's something you believe, or are you saying that because that's what you seem to, or both?
Like, there's more surgeries involved in MTF transition than there is to a FTM transition.
Okay.
So there's more money in like the MTF transition, male to female transitioning. So there's more focus on like that.
Why do you feel that is so like? Why is that so? Like, do you guys understand that, or is it's just crazy to you?
I understand it because I think it's more the money aspect, but at the same time, it's like,
so you're saying that, it's easier to, call it. Well,
I'm just saying the results of surgery are better.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's
a male to female transition.
For a man to change to a female, it's easier because of the result. Like, it's easier to feel comfortable with it, so that they put more effort into it. Because it's like, is that what you're saying? Or I'm sorry.
No, like the medical world is more invested in it just because it will make them more money.
But I'm asking, like, why would it make more money? What's the reasoning for making more money? Do you guys know?
I mean, it's a lot harder for trans women to pass just because, like, testosterone is, like, such a strong hormone that estrogen doesn't reverse a lot of the changes that testosterone makes. And a lot of the features that you get during your first puberty will stick with you through your second. So for medical transition, a lot more trans women will go through more surgeries and stuff in order to pass better and in order to lessen the dysphoria and stuff. So the medical community will focus more on those surgeries because more like trans women will be looking for those. Because it's a lot easier for a trans man to transition, like 100%. It's a lot easier. It's still hard, but it's a lot easier compared to trans women.
100%, yeah.
I really never knew that, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you taught me and the audience that, because I honestly just thought it was like, in general, I never knew it was like different. Like, I know it's still bad for like either both sides, but like it's not really good in both. Like the healthcare part is not really good in both sides. But I never knew it was like better in one or other. And it's sad to hear. That's crazy. And wow.
Regardless, like these procedures are like still really expensive, like unbelievably expensive.
Like thousands, like it's so expensive that you I feel like a lot of people just like, well, I am who I am. I don't need the surgery sometimes, and sometimes I see that they do want surgery. They just don't want to.
They just can't afford it. Yeah.
Yeah, they just can't afford it. So they kind of like, okay, well, this, yeah. I don't know. That's crazy. Like, man, it's sad to me that there's more, like, it's cheaper to, like, I don't know. This, be honest, healthcare is kind of expensive, period, and a lot of having to do with politics. But it's just, I would never want somebody to not be who they are. So I don't understand why it's so hard to help people be who they are. It's such a restriction. It's such a restriction, and I'm proud of both of you guys. Thank you for coming on the show and talking about it. And hey, just I don't even know what to say. I got speechless. Honestly, it's like I don't know. People just need to be more empathetic and understand more to help the communities that are hurting. Cause
and there needs to be a lot more education, like on these topics. I say
to white people to have more understanding to Black people, I need to have more understanding to people that are not. Well, I mean, they're so Black and Hispanic, or I just need to have understanding people. Period. And I think that goes both ways.
Yeah.
And it's not any culture, any race, anything, like any sexuality, any gender. It has to go with understanding people, and that's what can cure the world. But if you don't even agree, because a lot of people, I don't even like have to agree and to understand, and just mind my business too. To be honest with you, if you really don't want it to have a conversation and have this conversation, then fine. But don't be like, hey, this is wrong when you want to have a conversation. You can't do that. It's not right. It's not fair. There shouldn't be laws there should be laws that prevent you from doing what you want to do when they never had, like, those people that tried to make these laws never really had to have the conversation. They kind of wanted to ignore you and say, ignore what you're saying. So either A, listen to what I gotta say, or mind your business. Honestly. So people who have in this audience, thank you for hearing all of this, because it's very difficult to open your mind sometimes, and it shouldn't be. So people that are brave enough to have different opinion and still hear this all the way, and I'm pretty sure it's like an hour and 30 minutes, who knows. But thank you for listening to all of this, and thank you both for getting on. I hope you guys have an amazing day and watching more episodes, because this is great. This is a great conversation. All right, bye, people. Bye.
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 You guys did a great job. You guys did amazing.
Thank you. I hope